All right, I got the U-Haul, so that means it's gig day. I am doing a Halloween party for a band that I've done before. It's gonna be my rig instead of their rig, which is obviously why I got the U-Haul. Today's been an interesting start. I had a bolt or a screw in my tire, so I had to swap out to the spare. Thank God I have a full-size spare, so I don't have to run to the store and try to get that done in time today too. And when I went to get the U-Haul, people were strange all the way there. The people that were renting U-Hauls were being rude. The guy behind the counter was new. He was really great, but it took him a while to get figured out. And then I got the wrong U-Haul, and then we got it switched out so that I would have a ramp. And then on the way back here, I saw an accident almost happen. So hopefully that's not how the rest of the day is gonna go. All right, new gear day. I have these old style ratchets. I'm sure you've all seen them where you adjust the size of the strap. And then if you guess wrong, you have to pull the entire strap out to fix it. It's just a pain in the butt. Because what you do is once you start ratcheting it, it'll build on itself, and then if it's too much, it'll just lock up. It's just a pain. But these were recommended by another channel, Silver Creek Audio. I'll leave a link down below. But essentially what they do is you can see it's a lot like a tape measure. Like it just comes out, and then once you have your size you want, you can ratchet it like a normal ratchet to get it super tight. But if you have like way too much slack, you can just hit this little switch here, and what that'll do is it'll retract on its own. It's really, really nice, real fast. So as I stated in another video, I'm using the ratchet to keep this top on so I don't have to hold on to it and worry about it falling off. Let's give it a test. We're gonna call that a successful test. I'm here, it's getting kind of chilly, so I got my jacket on. I won't need it once I start moving stuff in. But you can see this giant building. I'll get some shots of what's going on inside. They have things like pickleball and cornhole and karaoke, a whole bunch of like mini bowling, a whole bunch of things like that. And they're testing out using bands, and we're upstairs. Thankfully there is an elevator that I'll be able to use, so hopefully it's not as bad as it looks. Unfortunately, I had to park kind of far away. This is the only spot that didn't have a curb that wasn't up front. They didn't want me parking up front because it was busy, but you can see it's quite a walk to get all the way back there. So let's load this thing up and go on an adventure. You know, the fun part about doing all this stuff solo is you gotta open up all your gates and doors by yourself. It's pretty fun. Here we are at the elevator. Thank God, too. They had about 1 million steps. There's no way I was getting that up all those steps. It's not a huge elevator, but it's pretty nice. Not a lot of room in the elevator here for me in this cart, but at least I have an elevator. I don't know about you, but every time I get in an elevator, I'm always a little worried that it's not gonna work. And every time the door opens, I always get this huge wave of relief. Whew, I survived another elevator trip. Well, there's no real easy way to do this. Gotta do all the trips, and since I'm alone, I'll do it myself. Luckily for me, there was a couple guys working on the video and audio for the room. They're from the corporate headquarters, I'm guessing. They flew into town to fix some stuff. And this goes to show it pays to be nice to everybody, because these subs weigh like 110 pounds a piece, and he offered to help me lift it. And I was kind of wondering how I was going to do it by myself anyway. Here's a final look at the layout that I'm going to be using for tonight. It's 2 tops and 2 bottoms for the subs, and then I got a couple monitors, and then the rest will be using in-ears. It is a little bit too much system for this room, but again, I'd rather have too much than not enough. Today I'm using my X32 and a splitter to go into their XR18 that they are using for their inner monitors. That way any changes that I do to the front of the house isn't going to affect them in their in-ears. And I do trust this band to run their own monitors, which we'll see what happens. And a quick little song to make sure that everything is working as it should before I set all the levels perfectly. People are starting to roll in. You can see it's a costume party. Some people are dressed, some aren't. For this gig, I'm using the Qsc 118 subs again. And then I have the short pole, and on top of that, I'm gonna have 2 CDL 12Ps. I should really clean up these cables a little bit better. Alright, I was actually, what is that hair do? Is that sticking up the whole night? I was actually able to park a little bit closer. I was able to get it right up here, and then let me flip this guy around. So I backed up right to the curb, so I should just be able to go straight down, and then right here's the gate, so I can go in. I'll save a ton of time instead of going all the way down there, but I couldn't do that when I started. Let's pack this thing up. Okay, this time I put 2 stacks together because I noticed I was able to push them and they didn't slide apart and cause any problems so much faster. I'm all done packing up. I got everything loaded up, so I get to head home. It was a good night. It started off a little rocky. I brought all my equipment, and at first I thought it was way too much system for the room, and it actually kind of was. But I wasn't sure if we were going to be upstairs or downstairs. And then when we did upstairs, when we first went to do our sound check, it was like 112 decibels at like a few tables back. And I literally wasn't running the PA, so the drums were just out loud, and what happened was the band was turning up their monitors so they could hear over the drums. And thankfully this band has a really cool drummer, and the drummer actually used different sticks which were quieter, and I'm sure it played softer. And then everybody turned down their monitors and their wedges and stuff, and it got down and I could actually control it, and then we were jumping around from 90 to maybe 100 at max, but it made it way more enjoyable and actually let me do the dynamics of the show, and it turned out really, really good. It's kind of nice having that extra system because you can make it sound big and it really fills that space with a little bit of, like, with almost no effort. It just fills the space a little bit better, but it is a pain in the butt to take that extra stuff. So I'm not sure if I'd do that again, but you know, honestly, I probably would. I'd rather have the option than to not. Thank you for joining me on tonight's gig. I had a lot of fun at this one. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. We'll catch you in the next video.